of designs, right? Like, you know, we can go super heavy into using like designing images on command. There's also the section where you can design your own website through command. Or we can kind of pivot into other things that you guys want to talk about, you know?
So from my perspective, I have I have no expectations of this training other than whatever you were planning on doing. My use of command right now is super, super basic. All I'm doing in command at this point is adding contacts on occasion and using it to put my transactions in. And I know that I don't know if you remember, but I was originally with that herd group with Karen. And so I spent a couple of months learning everything that I needed to learn for her group. And then, you know, we ended that relationship. And so it kind of took the winds out of my sail for a bit. And then I was busy with these transactions. So in addition to doing another job, I'm not finding the time to learn. So whatever it is,
yeah,
even basics would be great for me, but whatever kits in, I mean, I'm open. You do what you're going to do. I'll pick up something out of it. I'm going to go grab a notebook. I didn't grab a notebook yet.
Cool.
So that's helpful, right?
Yeah.
So I have really been using command. I've been using the smart plans. Anything that can be automated makes my life easier. So I'm finding some, not necessarily glitches in command, but things I didn't know until it happened, kind of stuff. Like people that unsubscribe to my smart plan, I don't realize when I have a task set up to reach out to them that they've unsubscribed just by looking at the task. So it's kind of like I have to make the effort to look at the notes to know that they've already unsubscribed, and so that I can delete the smart plan from them because not there anymore. So that was like a little something hiccup that I didn't realize I didn't know until I didn't know.
Yeah.
And then when people unsubscribe to your text message, that's another thing I didn't realize, that like it doesn't tell me on my cell phone because it's linked. Hey, by the way, they unsubscribed to your text messaging. So I mean, those are things that were like my little learning curve hiccups that I didn't realize.
Which ones are you running currently? I'm just curious.
I'm doing there's a Facebook and smart plan ad one that I think Nick did, maybe. I think Nick put it out there. So I'm currently running that. And then people that are in my sphere are on a neighborhood nurture.
Are you finding people unsubscribe to that at all? Or that one probably not so much because they know you and it's like information that's really like kind of you'd want to know.
So the neighborhood nurture one is kind of like the people that I didn't put my family on that. I put the people that were like coworkers and people I know, but people that not in good contact with all the time.
Right.
I think we've talked about this in the past. Like I'm good about like, I'm not going to cold call you. I'm not going to randomly anything. Like I need to establish or reestablish a relationship via Facebook or phones or whatever. I'm not trying to promote my real estate to you. Do you know what I mean? Like that's just not who I am I'm not overly pushy. So that's just not who I am. But anything that command can do that can be automated is going to be my best friend, because I'm really going to spend the next 2 weeks trying to focus on getting things automated and getting things set up, as much setup things that I can do. That's going to be pivotal to me being able to move forward.
Sure. The one for is to start, I don't know, almost.
Paul, you froze.
Yeah, you're freezing.
Give me
Wait, how did I become the host?
Oh, when they get stuck, sometimes they have to do that.
Uh-oh. I don't know anything. I can't teach you a thing. You're stuck. And I hate having these videos on. I never leave them.
Listen, I was rushed to get here. I was out and about and I had to hurry up and get here. So I get it.
Yeah, I had the video off and then, did we completely lose Paul?
He'll be back.
He will, yeah.
So how long have you been an agent while we're waiting for Paul?
I just got my license the very beginning of June.
Oh,
So
okay.
Yeah, I didn't really start doing anything until like August. Yeah. And yourself?
Were you on a team? You were on a team or no? Was that what you were saying? You were on a team?
I was on a team for a very, Karen Hillman had brought that expansion team, that her group expansion team to the market center. So I was on her expansion team with the her group for just a couple months. It was interesting. I was actually, I joined it. I'm like, you know what? I have another job. So I think a team is a great idea. So I have the resources. But within 60 days, I was like, I don't think this is really the right fit. And then she had decided that even that group wasn't the right fit for all of us. We weren't getting the value that we needed out of the resources based on what we were paying out of our commissions is the bottom line. Okay.
Gotcha.
Hi, Paul, you're back.
I think, yes, my internet went in and out at the house, so that's why
That's okay.
it froze. Yeah, so and you may have both done this already. I would just kind of start with, here, I'll share my screen here in case, have you both created your marketing profile in Command? Did you already do that? Okay,
I doubt it. I don't think I did.
So I just want to show you real quick because pretty much once you do that, if you do smart plans or email campaigns, mass emails, or also designs, and if you build a website through Command, it'll pull from that marketing profile. So I'm just going to start there. Kit's already done it.
Okay.
You've already done it. So it is up here. So when you log in, and at the top right, you'll see your profile. You're going to click settings.
Mama!
And then on the left-hand side, you see a little taskbar here. It's connect settings, so the middle one, and the marketing profile. That's like the first thing. It's pretty easy. It only takes 5-10 minutes to populate it, but it's a set it and forget it thing. Once you do it once, you're set. Any kind of designs you make, websites you create, smart plans you do, it'll pull like the headshot you do. If you're on a team versus not, like, so it'll have your brokerage here, KW Living, and then your information. So definitely whenever you get a chance, do that because it's a one-time thing. Like anything you do through Command, then it'll pull the info from there. So that would be step one. Another thing you had mentioned, Robin, you had mentioned too, and Kitsa, I know you started doing it as well. For Command, like Kitsa, you said, anything that's like automated is going to be my best friend because everyone kind of runs their business differently. So the one thing you're going to want to do is to set up all like your closest people that you're putting into Command. If you're little by little populating your contacts, you're going to want to set them up on a neighborhood nurture, whether it's sending out an email twice a month or once a month. That means the closest people to you are always going to have a reminder at least once a month, so 12 times a year or 24 times a year, that you are in real estate. And it's you're not asking them to do business with you. You're not like asking them anything. You're providing information that's valuable. So what the neighborhood nurture does is gives them a snapshot of what's been happening in their neighborhood for like the last 2 weeks or the last month. So while, Keller Williams, I think a year or two ago, kind of like, Gary, obviously prospecting is a big thing, like getting on the phones. If you go to Bold, it'll be like, everyone kind of has like their, those myths, right? That like, hey, people don't want to hear from me, or kind of like, if I call someone and say like, if I bring up real estate too much, like that's besides the point. You definitely want to at least remind people that are closest to you that you're in real estate, and sending them information that could be beneficial to them is just like a great way. It's like the baseline of what we should all do, and like almost none of us do it.
So wait, is the information? Am I generating the actual market information, or is there an automated?
It's automated.
It's automated with
Yeah.
information specifically, like, let's say it's Pepper Pike. It's specifically about Pepper Pike, or is it specifically about Northeast
It's
Ohio?
whatever you give them.
Yeah, it's the neighborhood
You
that you
subscribe
select.
them.
Yeah. So if
Okay.
Oh, sorry,
The
Paul. Sorry.
content
What am I
is there.
saying?
I just pick the content and I send it.
yeah, so it pulls in from, so the neighborhood, so if say it's Pepper Pike, there may be, here, I'll actually show you in the section.
You know, and I have to say that when you go to
Mhm.
do this, like if I go to a contact and I go to add neighborhoods, a
Mhm.
lot of times when I type in a neighborhood, I don't get either that neighborhood to pull up, and I don't get the, you know how like at the bottom it will say like the options for extra neighborhoods.
Yeah.
I almost 99% of the time, I don't know if it's just a glitch, but I almost always have to go to the map to do it because I can never get it to come up, and I never get the neighborhoods
Mhm.
underneath it.
So
Is that just like a glitch, or?
it's not so much a glitch. I think neighborhoods pull from a third party social network. So neighborhoods pull from the social network called Nextdoor. So
Okay, because I did one for like the open house I just did.
yeah.
An open house, and it was 1567 Felton Road, and it was in South Euclid. But everywhere I tried by just typing it in there, it didn't work. So I went and did it like find on map, and then I just clicked those areas. I don't
Exactly. So let me show you. I think with Janice and Robin, like what she's talking about is, say I'm populating my neighborhood, right? So if I do Willoughby, see like nothing. You guys see that, right? Like nothing pulls
Yeah.
up that fits. Okay, so what you'll realize is like my house actually does reside under this Waldemere Avenue one, that it could, because it gives a nice big section of streets, but you would never know that unless. So my suggestion is, like, if you run into that, is what Kitsa said, find it on map. So just like pin it, or like, okay, I am near downtown Willoughby, so like I would click that one and see what happens next. Is underneath it says suggested. See? So
Yeah.
then it's a kind of, I know it's a little bit of trial and error. However, like this, similar to the marketing profile, is a set and forget it thing. Like if you just do this once, say you have 200 people in your database, like I think I have like 270 or something. You know, it's going to take me longer, or if you're newer, everyone you're putting in, like, just remember to put them on a neighborhood. And what I always say too, if you don't know what neighborhood they live in, at least do like greater, or like do Cleveland, you know, because at the very least you could do like downtown Cleveland, and people will either like, oh, it's Cleveland, or they'll contact you and be like, hey, like I don't actually live in Cleveland. But so a trial and error thing, these suggested neighborhoods, you can click, oh, Waldemere, that's near me. And sure enough, it like that's where my house is. So again, that's one way. You could do the find on map. Do you normally do the address, Kitsa? How do you do it?
Yeah, I do the address because I don't
Yeah.
necessarily know the areas around it.
Yeah.
You know, like for suggested, I'll just zoom in and then I'll just click on them. Like whatever's around there.
Yeah.
Yep.
See how kind of then it'll show you, if you zoom in, it'll show you like
Mhm.
these are all the neighborhoods that are populated. So I would kind of pick which best suits them. You know what I mean? So
There's no way to do like multiple people at one time.
no, you have to individually add everyone to it. So I may sound redundant every time I kind of talk about this, but like at the very least, every single person in our databases, like every single person that's in command should have a neighborhood attached to them, because if you then start the neighborhood watch smart plan, those people will forever be emailed, you know? So I always kind of say that. Kitsa, did you, I know, let's see, I'm just trying to think what, another kind of automated thing that would be helpful for you.
How would we do like the emails? I've never done any like is it a drip campaign? Like, is it, like, where are we doing like something like that? Like the holidays are coming. If I wanted to send everybody just a general Merry Christmas, Happy Holiday or something.
Yep. So you'd go to campaigns. These icons, if you click the red KW up top here, it'll pull up the names in case you don't have like them memorized, like which ones they are. So it's under campaigns here.
Okay.
And then up top here is emails. So you can do them here. So basically you can create a campaign up top, email, and then you're going to name it. It kind of,
I get, yeah. Okay.
Then you could do like brand awareness. You could do other.
Okay, I got it.
So then once at the bottom here, you click design, and then it's you can kind of build out like however you want it to look like, or upload like an image that you already have.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's pretty nice, and it shows you kind of shows you what, like, see how many people, it shows you like how many sent out, how many opened.
Yeah.
Which is kind of cool. That one actually went through. I contacted support and it just said fail, but that actually did get sent out. So yeah, it would be, and I would also I would create designs wherever you're comfortable, like initially, like obviously if I'm teaching a class of 20 people designs in Command, like I'd probably focus more on how to create them specifically in Command, but I use Canva a lot, the app Canva.
I do too.
Most of my designs I create through there. So
then do you create them in Canva and then you upload them here?
Yeah, you could upload them. Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
And then, so also you can do some pretty nice. They just updated the, I haven't, it's been kind of newish here, is like I created this one back earlier this year where I was doing an ad on Facebook, how to track, because a lot of the paid ads I do what was like specifically for buyers, but like I wanted to see if I can attract like sellers, so I did a like, what is your home worth ad, and people that would reach out, I sent them a comparative market analysis. So I mean, it does have some pretty nice looking designs in here. So I mean, like I would definitely like toy around and see what you're most comfortable creating. It's pretty it's a pretty intuitive process here. But yeah, so you can get some pretty nice ones. But it's funny you said that about the happy holidays thing. I'm not saying you shouldn't send those out, but like I personally wouldn't necessarily be like because I'm sure you guys will all see it in the next like 3-4 days. We're going to get a ton of emails from a lot of different places, title companies, agents that kind of generically say like happy holidays. I would always try to like, if everyone's zigging, I would zag, right? So I wouldn't necessarily use the next like day to like create a templated email in Command, just because although it's a nice platform, the mass emails are nice. I would kind of like separate yourself a little bit from the pack, where like when everyone's sending out templated emails around the holidays, maybe like this is a perfect time to like do greeting cards. I just sent out 25 to my past clients. The other day it took about 2 hours, and wrote out like a specific one to each of them. Like not like it wasn't just like happy holidays and then just sign my name. It was like I wrote out like a nice little message to all of them and sent them out. I would just do stuff differently to set yourself apart, like, because everyone's gonna be sending out emails the next couple of days.
I did handwritten cards to my sphere, like my family and friends.
Yeah.
And then the email is for the like Facebook paid ad people.
Yeah.
That I don't know at all and barely have any contact information in command for them.
Yep. That's a good idea.
So those are and I'm doing it's going to be like a Happy New Year thing. You know what holiday people celebrate, but the New Year's coming for everybody. So, you know what I mean? Like I try to, I don't know. I just feel like I try really hard to stay away from holiday branded things because you just don't know who celebrates what.
Yeah.
I'll tell you from a business perspective, like speaking from my other life, I get a lot of like Constant Contact and MailChimp, holiday. It just says happy, you know, it's a happy holiday. Even I don't care if it's just Independence Day. There is a part of me that is very irritated by those. I'm busy. My email is slammed. And the last thing I don't send them. I personally don't participate in that because I know I'm busy and I'm not interested in an email that says happy holiday, but maybe I'm a curmudgeon. I got stuff to do. And so I much prefer content. Content is king. Yeah. Content is king. Happy holidays is not content.
Right.
You know?
No, I agree with you.
Providing information through the holidays, like the big question I'm getting from people are houses on the market? Are people listing? Are people looking? Do you think the home values are going to sustain? Like in any way addressing those kind of general questions that I'm getting out in the market are a good way to provide content to people. I'm just providing my opinion.
No, I totally agree. I totally agree with you. I'm very much in that same boat. Let me pull up something real quick.
I do like, but I also do just like holiday stuff. I feel like all year we're bombarded with work stuff. It's nice to take a breather from that a little bit, especially just on like one holiday, because every other holiday is like lead gen, do this, do that. And it's just one day where you can kind of step back and say, I don't need anything from you. I just want you to have a happy holiday. That's it.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I mean, so for me, like it was very, again, it took like 2 hours is not a lot of time. You know, like the greeting cards were like, they felt really good to do. You know, there's been times in years past where I'm like, oh, I'm gonna send out greeting cards this year. And next thing you know, it's like the day after Christmas. You're like, well, I can still get them out, and they'll get it before New Year's, and then like never did it. There was something like when I wrote that last one, it was like, it made me also kind of remember the deals a little bit too. And another crazy thing was seeing like all the different values, like remembering like that deal from 2 years ago and being like, oh man, I remember they weren't even sure if like at the end they wanted it, through the process, like cold feet, whatever. But then you see the value went up like 50K since like 2 years. It's like every single one of those people that I worked with in the past, like have tons of home equity now, you know. It's just things like that where, Janice, I know what you're saying. Like it's not, I just personally, I don't do mass email sends like during the holidays. It's just, I would text them or do greeting cards personally. Again, everyone does different stuff, but also like the content portion is huge to just stay top of mind. Like even if it's holiday or not, like when it's slower now up until like March, it's just like way less activity. But like it still could be better. Like if someone just assumes that right now is not a great time to look anymore, like providing them emails that kind of break down like, hey, this is the national activity. There's way less buyers now. You might find something and be less competition, you know, like as opposed to just assuming that I'm going to wait till more houses hit the market. Well, yeah, more houses are going to hit the market, but there's also going to be another 3,000 buyers you're competing with as opposed to now, you know? So creating newsletters and that type of information, or just like running stats, you know, and not everyone just wants like a bar graph or whatever, but, you know, even just like writing it out, or creating like the newsletter templates as well, you know?
Now, Paul, are you sending out mass text like from command? or are you texting individually?
I don't send out mass texts like unless it's I'm sending out like individual. Yeah. I'm again, like if you said if you're dealing with thousands of leads and you're playing the numbers, sending out automated texts is a good thing, especially if you're getting a ton of leads in from paid marketing. However, like when I'm reaching out to someone through text, it's like me personally sending it, just because I don't want the mix up of like, you know, the command email or the command text being different than like, I just want everything kind of tight knit. So if I'm sending out mass something, it's for me, it's an email. And then if I'm texting, I'm doing it to the people I know, or if I'm mass texting them through Twilio. Twilio is like our service where you can type in a text and it'll send it to whoever you ask them to. If it's paid, like if it's a Facebook paid ad or something like that, and it's just a numbers game on that one, you know, like conversions, like 1 or 2%, 1 to 3%. So that's the only time I'll use Twilio. So
when you talk about, you were mentioning how you did a Facebook paid ad, give people information. Do you find those fruitful when it comes to information and leads? Because I've done some Facebook ads for people that have listings, and I've heard multiple agents tell me that they've not found them very productive. They're low cost, but just you can get quite a few. Like one ad in 10 days, I got 30 leads, which was I thought was really good for a 10-day ad.
Yeah.
Then when nobody answers the phone or people all unsubscribe. Like, I think the first 2 ads that I did, I think everybody's unsubscribed at this point. Multiple calls, multiple attempts. Like, I know the business is to lead generate. Sorry, that's my son.
Oh, good.
You know, but do you find things like that valuable when you go and do ads? You know, I know it can be hit or miss when it comes to like for a property, but just in general, when you do one, do you find them beneficial?
So I would say that, so yes on that. So I'm going by, so when we had in our market center earlier in 2021, we had a panel of like super high level, not all from our brokerage. We had several agents from, so like some had teams, some were solo mega producers, so I think we had 6 of them up there. Unprompted, right? Like it was questions from the audience, this and that. Like, I mean, there were some, you know, 20, 30, $60 million producers. The 2 things that they mentioned a lot. One was they kept consistently doing the paid ads on command. The caveat on that was they consistently had automated touch points. Okay. So like on cold paid ads, it's not just in real estate, I think probably in other industries too. It's like 6 to 9 touches before someone's gonna not like work with you, just to like respond to you. So on that one, what I've fallen like into in the past for myself is the consistency aspect of it, where I don't do enough of the follow-up. And because of the numbers are like, so like, it's like 1 to 3%, you know, you're talking about out of, you know, hundreds of leads, maybe like a few 1 to 3 deals, you know? And again, those deals could be 1 to 6 months, you know what I mean? So it's like, it's so easy in the beginning to just say like they don't quite work, but it's also like the alternative is like paying Zillow thousands of dollars for a slightly more hot lead, right? So it's less work, like 20 to 50 times the money. So what's nice about command is you can set all these, like you can automate what smart plan they come on, you know? So it's like,
your one video,
Yeah.
I wrote it down. I've shared it with like 3 people that have asked. I mean, it was so great. Like the step that you could do exactly what it is you needed to do, from the landing page to the getting set up. I mean, you did a fantastic job, and it was literally step by step. And it really, like, I mean, it just makes it so easy, and you can duplicate the key, change the
Right.
address, and move on.
Correct.
And you know what I mean? Like, to keep doing it over and over again. It's
just, yeah, it's just doing it over and over.
Yes. Once you've done one paid ad, it's so simple to keep doing them. I just think,
the hard part is just getting over the mental hurdle of like,
yeah,
again,
yes.
I ran the numbers the last 4 years, which is why I became a solo agent at the office, and I'm no longer on the Triv team. Again, I always look when I do these videos or talk one-on-one with agents at the office, like we're all so different in how we run our businesses. You know, we're all self-employed, independent contractors. I am more similar to you, Kitsa, where like I don't necessarily want to convince people to work with me. I like to, when I did the numbers, I do 16 deals a year over the past 4 years. Again, do I want to grow that? Yes. 85% of them were people that I knew were referrals to me. So like a lot of what I harp on is like getting your closest people into the database, like making sure they know that you're in real estate. Like, because yes, do I want to scale up? Of course. You know, I just want to make sure I like handle my part of it like super tight knit before I implement a set. Like CJ, which I love, like talks a lot about the pillars of your business, you know, like a chair where if you're super heavy on like your sphere and database, and like you're not getting any like from non-Mets, you know, people you've not met before or paid, it's like gonna be wobbly, right? You want like a sturdy foundation of like, if you like 13 deals here from people, you know, like 13 deals from paid marketing, 13 deals from like straight up prospecting, like picking up the phone or like calling for sale by owners. But it's like, so, I mean, long story short, you got to figure out kind of which way you want to kind of go at it, but like using the tools that Command has, like, so for the paid stuff, it's just more of them and like 6 to 9 touches for each one that comes in. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
I changed the smart plan I had to
Yeah.
make sure I got one that had at least 10
Yeah.
touches.
Because
I rearranged it so that the second touch, the first touch is an automated text. The second touch is a phone call for me so that I'm not further down the list before
Yeah.
I actually contact you.
Yeah.
But, you know, I was talking about this with Katie. You know, when you have a sphere, I have 100 people in my sphere. 50 of them are close family or friends. And when you've exhausted asking them if they know anyone and nobody knows anyone, you know, I am in a position where I'm not going to get business from family and friends right now.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? On the long term, yes. But in the last 6 months, there's nobody that knows anybody that, not that I'm not still trying with those people, but if I don't find some other avenue, which is why I've been trying different things, the for sale by owners, the open houses, things like that, because I don't know that it's a unique situation. I just know for myself, I think I thought I would know more people that knew people, and I just don't. Not at this point in stage. In 2-3 months, maybe it's different. You know what I mean? But right now, that's not what's going on. And if I wanna start a business, I have to do the paid ads. I have to do the open houses. And that's, to me, the best part about Command is that all of that is automated. So there, you know, where I say that automation helps, to me, that's how it's been helpful, because I just don't know people that know people in this moment as many as I've talked to people or Facebook friends or any of the sort. It's just been, for me, it's been a real challenge.
Yeah, I would say while, you know, like the people that are close to you, those are going to trickle in, especially if you just kind of, those will, no matter what.
Yeah.
But like so like you said, open houses, paid ads, and then
that's why I just was curious, because a lot of people, you know, either don't use Command very often in the office, you know, people that I've spoken with don't use it that regularly or haven't used it that much yet, plan on it for the coming year, or don't really run ads because they have other avenues that they get leads. So that's why I knew you have done them. I was just curious your kind of Command story and whether or not you found it beneficial.
The one thing too is every single one of those people that had a ton of paid ads through command that was on that panel was like, you can run the best at like you could get 90, 100, 30, 50 per, but like if you don't process them correctly, you're just wasting money, because like those need a lot of attention to convert. Not all attention has to come from you. You can automate it, but like it has to be 6 to 9 times that someone's
You got to be
getting
ready. When you do that, you got to be ready. Like in the short time that I was on the Herd team, you know, we were using a system called Boomtown.
Yeah, we used Boomtown like 4 years ago. I remember. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, which generates leads. And I'll tell you, you have to hit those leads immediately. Like the minute they come in, you have to pounce on it.
Yeah, I think it's 80% of people that they work with the first realtor that they talk to.
Yeah.
The thing
is, if you don't get them on the phone, you have to keep calling back. And it sometimes feels like you're being a pain, but the reality is when those people be like, oh gosh, I know I've been wanting to talk to you, but okay, when they tell you that, that's where you have to keep reminding yourself, like it's 6 to 8 touches, and you have to try to get over the feeling like a pain, because I have a handful of leads that in the short time I was doing it, they're still active leads. I'm kind of still working with them. But of the, 50 leads that I got fed, it was only a couple that turned into a conversation.
Right. And then imagine that, like if you close 2 of those, it potentially could be $10,000.
Exactly.
Which is like, could be a really good 2 months for someone, or a month, or whatever, So it's like, it's always the mental game, especially in real estate, because it's like, you don't know when the closing's happening, and it could be a 30 to 60 to 90 day process. But then at the very end of it, you just get this huge commission check, and you're like, whoa, like, wow, what if those start like piling up, like what if, and then the 20th person that you're super close to contacts you, and then all of a sudden like 2 of the Facebook ads convert, then it's like, now you're dealing with 4 pendings, and that's like a nice place to be. So like, just consistency on the paid ones, because they're not people that so consistency on that, and then figuring out, like, also not doing we'd always talk about this, which we kind of ran into on the team, was like we always said a lot of times you go into real estate because you're more entrepreneurial and creative. Well, like it's so it's hard to like kind of just do the one thing that works. It's like, well, I want to do the 4 things that work. Like I'll do open houses, I'll do paid ads, I'll do door knocking, even though no one does door knocking, whatever it is, like people say, like farming, this and that, like, and they'll do like 5 of them. And it's like, you do 5 of them for 2 weeks, like not that well, where you could just choose the open houses and do it for 12 months. And next thing you know, you're going to have 20 deals. You're going to be like,
I think that was the great thing about being in the coaching program and trying a bunch of different things once or twice, multiple times, but just to see, what do I like? What do I not like? What
like you might be like a person that, does, like you go live on Instagram, you know what I mean? You could be a type that, Kate, before she was team leader at the office, like I think 90% of her business was all social media leads. There's CJ was telling us a story about the one agent who, like, all they do, they're like a $20 million producer. The only thing they do is open houses, and they just perfected the way they like promote them and then do them. So it's like or you could just be the person that's like, I'm just going to throw $50 a month at paid ads and just get real high level at like doing the automated process of them getting touched without you even doing anything. And then when it's time to show them or sell their house, like that's how they do it, So it really is kind of choosing your
yeah. I mean, and command has like, it has great tools to do these things.
Yeah, command's fine. I mean, it's fine. Like it's not great by any means. Like I've used Boomtown, Follow Up Boss, like Salesforce, not in real estate, but I've used tons of CRMs in the past. Like it's fine. Like my favorite feature is probably the paid ads section, because you get more leads than you do if you just ran them through Facebook itself.
Well, that's what I mean. Like, it's great for that. Like, that part,
but like
how it trickles the people in and puts the stuff, and can put them on a tag and put them in a smart plan. And it's like,
Yeah. And
There for
anytime
you.
I'm teaching class, like I am the, like, obviously Katie does compliance in command, like uploading documents. And if a lot of times I'll do like systems and stuff in command, but I'm not like I don't just promote it for no reason. Like there's a lot of teams and solo agents that use a different CRM. Some people use a Rolodex, some people use a spreadsheet. It's fine. You know, like there are tools to use that can help if you want certain things. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Paul, I have a question. This is Leah. So I've been listening to you guys. So I haven't done a paid ad yet. And I know when you had worked with me, you know, like 2 weeks ago or whatever on command, I probably will need to run through that to so I know how to do it, because I am interested in doing paid ads. I just haven't done it yet. So
did I email you one of the videos that's a step-by-step as well? At least like this week, you can kind of like, before we hop on a one-on-one and do like a walkthrough.
You may have, and you know what, I'm gonna look on there. I haven't checked I have to look on my email, of course, and check to see what you sent me. You probably did, but I can't really remember if you did or not.
Yeah, no worries.
Or if you can resend it, that'll be good just in case.
Yeah, for sure. What's your email real quick? I'm just going to put it in my.
You can just send it to LEA JONES 2@gmail.com.
Cool. All right. I'll send it there.
Okay. Thank you. And is this going to be recorded or like
Yes.
because I missed the first like 20 minutes. I was somewhere else and I just hopped on for a minute.
Yeah, it records, and then Gara will email it to everybody in like a day or two, and then also it gets posted on our KWAgentsguide.com website as well.
Okay. Yeah, because I missed like the training, I guess, or I guess you went over some stuff in command. I missed that part.
Very good. Are there any specific kind of questions or things you want to go over while we're all here?
Are you aware of I know they're consistently upgrading or, you know, making changes to command and, you know, design, like everything is changing, like they added the smart plans into the ads because that wasn't there before, the tags wasn't there before. Are you aware of any additional changes that they're working on to enhance it at all?
So the one thing everyone should do, and it'll be very helpful, is they came out with the mobile app. So that one, and it's really good. So I will say to download that, because before it was always like to use command, you'd have to pop open your desktop or your laptop. But they do have the command app now, and it's pretty awesome. It's pretty good.
Now, I know they had downloaded that for iPhone users because I was able to get it. Is it available for Droid now too? Or
I think it is. I just don't know. I think someone, when we were talking about it at one of our leadership calls last week, I think there was some glitchiness still with the Android version. So yeah, just keep that in mind. If you're Janice, if you are a Droid user.
No, I'm not. I'm just asking for those who may be.
Yeah, that there might be that people were saying, because I'm Apple, so I didn't notice that, but I did hear in our leadership call that some people that have Android were having some glitches here and there. So,
okay.
They are, you know, they're in general nothing like other than that. Lately, I know they were kind of pumping hard to get that out. But you know, after the new year, we'll have our monthly like regional training call. So that's one of the things I can ask Sarah Herda, like our region head of tech, you know, if there's anything that we can kind of see that's coming down the pipeline here in 2022.
I am thinking about uploading like my entire contact list. I'm hesitant to do that again. I did that when we were in Boomtown and it's dirty. I got to clean it up. Okay, can you show me
Yeah, I'm sure.
how to upload an entire, because it's just an Excel sheet, right?
Mhm.
I think I'm just going to do it. I'm going to see if maybe I can clean it up in the spreadsheet a little bit more. But I would like to load a lot of I have like over 1,000 contacts I might want to put in.
Yeah. So the way to clean it a little bit is when you click, here's the second one is contacts. Once you click that, you can do import right here. And then what you want to do is download this pre-made CSV file. So that's how it'll upload like nice and clean. So if you download that and then open it, make sure that like the name, obviously, the most likely email and phone is the next most important. And then obviously if you have their address, but it has to be in that pre-made template to be kind of clean once it's in there.
So you download this, you download the template.
Mm-hmm.
And then you load the template and then you upload the file, right?
Yeah, you upload the this downloaded pre-made CSV.
Okay.
So the file that you currently have, I'm guessing that it's Excel, right?
I think I actually have it saved in Google.
Okay,
right now.
Yeah, that's fine too.
Believe it or not.
Yeah, no, that's good too. So like whatever's easy, what I did, I kind of like in everyone I had in my, because that's what I did. I uploaded this mass upload. I saved. Let's stop the share so I can see you guys. I saved. So I like in my Excel sheet or Google whatever page, you can. I copied all like first names and I put them into like the first name section of the pre-made template. And I did the same thing with last names. And then I filled in like what their numbers were. But yeah, doing however you want to convert it, it's going to be a little different. But like you want to use that pre-made template. That's how it's going to upload cleanly into Command.
Okay.
Getting that information to there is not, I guess not tricky, but it's the tricky part, right? It's like how is the best way to upload it to the template. So that's what you're going to want to do.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's definitely I hope you guys got something, some value for here and there on some of these things.
Definitely.
I have to send the email to Leah.
Well, I think this is a great project for the holiday break. Like when you're not busy, maybe.
It's hilarious. I have a little like the one thing to do daily, what I got to complete, and the thing that's on that is to kind of update, because once I went from the trip team to solo, like I now have to like kind of curate my own database again. So that's my project for the week, up until the New Year's is to get everyone kind of, just making sure that everyone's still on their neighborhood, everyone's getting like a smart plan and stuff. So I'm doing the same thing you guys are here.
Did you just recently go back solo?
Yeah, I went solo officially like last week. Yeah.
Oh, last week. My goodness.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I am officially a solo agent now in the market center. Yeah.
Were you solo before and then went on the trip team for a number of years?
Yeah. So it's funny. I started my career on CJ's team when it was the new homes team, when we were at Greater Cleveland with Scott Phillips was the team lead. So when I entered the industry in 2011, I was on CJ's team and we were both agents. And then I just had a winding road. You know what I mean? I moved out of state for a little while. Always had my license on hold with Ohio. And then when I came back to town in like 15-ish, I was doing outside sales at that time, directly related to I was a relocation company. So I was still like the owner there wanted me to kind of use my license as well, like have a full service, like, hey, in case you need a realtor too, we have one. So they got me like back into it, and I was a solo agent for about a year and a half. And then I just like, my wife was pregnant, and then I was like, all right, if I'm going to do this, I kind of want to make sure like, one of the nice things about teams is like the leads coming in and the support with like admin and stuff.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the direction I went. I was on the team for 4 years. Yeah. So I'll be solo here. Now until, yeah.
Oh, congratulations.
Yeah.
Paul, I have a quick question before we go, if we can. So if you could just speak to somebody who's like new with Keller Williams, like myself, like I know you hear people say, I know being a solo agent, you get more of your commission, obviously. And then on a team, you have to more split it.
Yep.
But do you think you probably do close more deals being on a team because they give you leads? Or I guess it really just depends on if the agent is newer maybe, or if they are a seasoned agent. But as a new agent, do you recommend a person going on a team just to kind of like get the admin help or get the leads,
I do. And it gets a little frustrating too at times, because a lot of times when you're newer, you kind of like if you're newer, you either have like a runway where you set aside like a year's worth of salary. Most people aren't in that, right? So most people who are newer maybe coming from another job. So a lot of times it gets frustrating because you're not getting the full commission, but it's almost again like that mental barrier of like, real estate can get a little lonely sometimes if you're solo. So it's like having that camaraderie and teamwork can be very beneficial. Like there's a lot of questions that come up like when you're newer, and having like an admin staff that's like directly answering questions like that, and then also can like lead. So it's almost like I would say for if it's a really, and it also depends on the team, right? Like there's some teams that won't even, like there's some teams that won't necessarily not allowed if you have another job, right? Some teams only will let someone come on if they're full-time. Okay. So it's so some teams run a different style of business. Some teams are super heavy, like they just get millions of leads because they've been doing it for 30 years and they have so many leads, so they could just like pass them out to people, right? So it's like, that could be a situation where it could be a good place for like a new agent, because you're always dealing with leads coming in, and you're always kind of in the mix. So I would say in those situations it could be beneficial. If you're like kind of like more, if you're a control person and really want to handle like the process from start to finish, it could get a little frustrating, right? So I would say kind of gauge like kind of be self-aware before when you're making a decision, like what do I value most right now? What's my priority? Is it maximizing my dollars? Is it being involved with like a tribe, like this is my team. These are people, we go to lunches, we meet once a week, we have call nights, this and that, like maybe that's the thing. But I would really kind of gauge like your personality and kind of like, and also if you're interviewing with teams, like ask them what their value proposition is, what can you do for me?
That's true.
Like you're definitely going to get a lot of my first deals from my sphere, right? So like what am I going to get from you?
That's true. Okay.
So I would kind of gauge.
But those deals are still your deals. You just are splitting the commission though, right?
Yeah. So for example, I asked this question a few years ago. I was like, because when you're on a team, a lot of times it gets closed out as under the rainmaker, right? Like the person that's ahead of the team.
Oh, you don't get credit for it?
Some teams don't.
Yeah, some teams you don't. Like so some teams like you get every team member gets looped into the one rainmaker's like deal, right? So it'll show as like the team lead will show like we closed 100 deals this year, even though like team member A closed 10, team member B closed 10, you know what I mean? So it just depends on that setup as well. I will say, because I was curious, because you need 20 deals under your belt and like 2 years under your belt in case you want to ever get your broker's license.
That's what I know. That's what I was thinking. Like, how come you wouldn't get credit if you're working the deal?
But you technically do. So like even myself, the past 4 years, like I do show like units, even though like it wasn't under my name.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, well that's good to know. See, I didn't know that. Okay.
Yep, no doubt. All right, good stuff. I think if that's I think those was nice. That was helpful, I think.
Yeah, it was good.
All right, cool. Lee, I'll send you that email. Robin,
Thank
appreciate it. Kits, Janice, thank you.
Yeah, thanks for the information.
Yeah, and then
Thank
have
you.
a great week. I know it's probably going to be a little slower at the office just because I think like we're closed. And I think just in general, a lot of people are doing more like kind of social distancing right now with all the COVID stuff that's going around.
I think I need to go see this email. There's an email that came out about the market center and
Oh, okay.
COVID
All right, yeah.
protocols. I haven't read it yet. I just saw that it was mentioned in an email. But
Yeah,
I think
same.
we have to mask in the common areas and
Yeah.
it's concerning. I don't know if you guys saw this, but Cuyahoga County is ranked number 3 in the country for this current wave
Wow.
of outbreak. And
Yeah,
the
I heard that.
Omicron is, so I know people that work at the Cleveland Clinic. Last week they had 5 cases of Omicron come in and it doubled it's been doubling every day.
Yeah, I heard that. My dad was just over a little bit ago. He said the ICUs are like full right now in Cleveland.
So unfortunately, I am deciding to get very conservative myself, which I really haven't. The decisions of how you live seem to change week by week.
Oh,
so
isn't that the truth?
We're canceling family plans, and I mean, I have a lot of family that didn't vaccinate.
Right, I know.
And it's not like that isn't me, and so these are my family. So it's strange to me. My cousins, it's all my cousins. So I just got a call. I was supposed to go down for the 23rd for a family gathering, and they've got an outbreak in the family because they're healthcare workers.
Right.
They're unvaccinated healthcare. I know that I don't want to, people have to make the choice that works for themselves. So
right.
I don't want to judge anybody for their choices. It's very concerning out there.
Very much so. Yep.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you, Paul.
Absolutely. Thank you. Happy holidays.
Thank you. Have a good holiday.
I'm hoping that I make some great
Everybody,
progress
happy
in command, and the next time we're on, I'll have lots of great questions and yeah.
For sure.
We have nothing but time now. We're all at home, right?
Exactly.
Yes. Seriously, this is the time to do this. I'm hoping I do that. Yeah.
This is the perfect
So
time.
happy holidays to the
All
rest
right,
of you on
everybody.
the call.
You too.